Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Hope your five senses work and hope your health and strength is good. What? What's up, gamers? Listen to this. Look, I remember right after Sony had got the rights to Spider-Man, right? And Spider-Man was on PlayStation, right? Sony hit Microsoft with like 5 different time exclusives. That was I think that was it was with Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was I think Street Fighter 5. I think Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5, right? But then it was Modern Warfare 2, the remastered edition. Remember, but the one without the multiplayer, and there was like 2 other games I can't think of, but there was about a total of 5. Sony hit Microsoft with time exclusive, and a lot of Xbox fans were thinking that Final Fantasy VII Remake was coming to Xbox. But now we're getting to find out that Sony had told third-party developers not to bring certain games to Xbox. Then, right when the PlayStation 5, it's like when that happened, right? Before the PlayStation 5 came out, when that happened, it's like Phil Spencer was telling the Xbox fans, like, don't worry, we got this. We're gonna take care of it. Don't worry about it. We got this. Then when when Sony did the reveal of the PlayStation 5, right, at their like on their show, like This Week on Xbox, right? That following week, This Week on Xbox was longer than usual, because I remember sitting there watching it, and I was like, man, this Week on Xbox is really longer than usual. And what Microsoft did was use This Week on Xbox and kill the momentum whatever Sony was trying to do, whatever Sony was trying to build with the PlayStation 5. Then Microsoft, now Sony had rights to Call of Duty, but they never owned Activision Blizzard. And once Microsoft saw that, and when Activision Blizzard was going through their turmoil, they swooped in. And then this now exposes Sony. But listen to this. Sony made arrangements to stop publishers from distributing games on Xbox. Sony made arrangements to stop publishers from distributing games on Xbox. So if you were looking forward to Final Fantasy VII the Remake on Xbox, now you know why. Listen to this. Says here, the $69 billion Activision mega deal sparked a huge battle between Microsoft and Sony, who are both desperate to convince competition watchdogs to side with them. In November, we got a closer look at the argument of the 2 giants through their own submitted documents to the United Kingdom Competition and the Market Authorities, which released the document to the public. And when the people had thought they scrutinized the statement enough to know everything, a huge detail was revealed to be overlooked. There is a huge chance Final Fantasy VII Remake plus Final Fantasy 16 and Silent Hill 2 Remake will never be on Xbox. It said the submitted response of Microsoft and Sony to CMA contained a lot of interesting information, so it is easy to get lost and miss some lucky chunky items. Nonetheless, Xbox News page on Twitter, Xbox News for Korea, was able to spot a huge revelation many failed to notice when Microsoft document was shared with the public in November. According to the passage highlighted, Sony made arrangements with third-party publishers to exclude from the platforms which they will make their games available. Microsoft directly named these publishers and their games as Square Enix, From Software Bloodborne, and Blooper Team Silent Hill 2 Remastered. Interestingly, there's more to the list since Microsoft says these are just some prominent examples. Here is the direct statement from Microsoft. In addition to having outright exclusive content, Sony has also entered into arrangement with third-party publishers which require exclusions of Xbox from the set of platforms these publishers can distribute their games on. Some prominent example of these arrangements include Final Fantasy VII Remake, Bloodborne, and the upcoming Final Fantasy from Square Enix, and the recently announced Silent Hill 2 Remastered. Blooper Team. It says one of the biggest proof that backs up Microsoft's statement is the PlayStation time exclusive Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, when they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake, a lot of Xbox fans were looking forward to that game. Now we know why. Okay. Anyway, which initially gave Xbox fans some hope that they would soon be able to play it on their platform. However, this tease was a false hope, as it seems Square Enix was only referring to its PC games, and as everyone knows, Final Fantasy VII Remake is already on Steam for Windows, leaving Xbox fans brokenhearted after realizing Sony won't allow them to touch it. If Microsoft's word is to be taken seriously, the same could be the fate of Silent Hill 2 remasters and other games. What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments. Well, the truth always comes to the light. So, the Activision Blizzard deal now that Microsoft just did by purchasing Activision Blizzard exposes Sony and their monopoly that they have on third-party publishers about putting games on Xbox. That's what this article just did. Okay, there's a saying that the truth always comes to the light, and it just did. So for the for the Xbox fans that was waiting on Final Fantasy VII Remake to play it on their Xbox console, now they know what really happened with that game. It was Sony all along telling developers not to put games on Xbox. So now Microsoft countered it by purchasing Activision Blizzard. The truth always comes to the light, man. So Sony can't hide anymore. Everybody thought. See, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of PlayStation fanboys that are YouTubers and Nintendo fanboys, when the Activision Blizzard deal went down, they were trying to tell people that it was a monopoly. It never was. Okay? It never was. Like they say on Call of Duty Black Ops 4. First come, first serve. Activision was up for grabs and Microsoft beat Sony to the punch. It was never a monopoly. And Sony time exclusive is more of a monopoly than Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. Yeah. Sony's monopoly on time exclusive is more of a monopoly than Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. Okay? See, Sony tried to make it look like Microsoft was the bad guy, was the evil person, evil corporation in all this. But it was them that was doing it. Okay? So while they were sitting there pointing the finger at Xbox, their thumb was pointing back at them. So yeah, this explains everything, because I remember when Final Fantasy VII remake was being made, a lot of Xbox fans were thinking that that the time exclusive that Sony was putting on Xbox with Modern Warfare 2, plus Street Fighter 5, plus a couple other games, they thought that Final Fantasy 7 remake was going to come to Xbox. It probably was going to be a year. And now we know, and now we get to find out why. Okay, so like Microsoft was right for buying Activision Blizzard. You know, they were right, and I'm hoping that that they win this case, that they win this suit. You know, because I mean, you got 75% of the public that agrees to the deal already, and then you got 98% of the shareholders that agreed to it already. So we'll see what happened in 2023 with this. But this just exposed Sony. You know, a lot of PlayStation fans. They were putting Sony on this pedestal, like they weren't doing anything wrong. This article just exposed them for good, and the monopoly and power that they had over third-party developers, and how they can tell them what game to release and what not to release, what games can stay on PlayStation, what games they can keep on PlayStation, and what goes to Xbox. So you know, Microsoft, you know, they were right for getting Activision Blizzard. Sony can't hide no more. Okay, Sony can't hide no more. And it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see if the judge if the judge said, okay, Final Fantasy 7 remakes comes to Xbox, okay, and the new Final Fantasy comes to Xbox. It's gonna be interesting to see what the judge say on all this. But this really shine a light on Sony and the power and control that they have over third-party developers, and the blocking power that they have, you know, on blocking games from Xbox. Yeah. And some of the comments that I read, man, some of the comments that I read on this was people are heated, man. People are heated. See if I can get the comments up here. Okay, let's see here. See if I can get it here. Where's the comment at? Oh, oops, I'm almost done here. Let me get through this. He said, one person here said, he says, where are these PS fanboys claiming that Sony will be badly hurt because of Activision takeover? Sony from a long time is a bully on the market, and things need to change. They are afraid of competition. If this is true, then Sony argument about Call of Duty etc. can be flushed down the toilet, as from the long time Sony is excluding games from Xbox by side arrangements. Yeah, this this really puts Sony on the hot seat right now. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see what the judge say about this. You know, because they were trying to make Xbox look bad. But it's funny, what goes around comes around now. Now the focus is on you and the control power you had with third-party developers about who gets what game and what. And I bet you that started with the PlayStation 1. I bet you that control power that they had with third-party developers started with PlayStation 1. And it finally got exposed thanks to the Activision Blizzard deal that Microsoft just did. 68 billion or 70 billion, rounded off. Anyway, leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek fan. Dark Side. Peace.